Hello everyone! For today's report, we will tackle the lesson about freight forwarding and logistics. Now, we already have an idea of what is logistics. To spark up that knowledge, let's do a quick recap. Logistics deals primarily with the planning and transportation of goods from one location to another. This is the process of planning and executing the efficient transportation and storage of goods from the point of origin to the point of consumption. By means of origin, this is production logistics, which refers to the products that are being produced from the factory. And when we say to the point of consumption, this means from the factory to the logistics center to retail and of course to consumers. So in short, it generally means the management of transportation of information from one place to another. So kay this is also about transportation man, this is where freight forwarding is also involved. Now before we dig deeper to freight forwarding, let us first define what is freight. Freight refers to the products or the goods that is being transported. So these are the goods that are transported from one place to another. Take note also that freight is different from shipping. Nakasuway naman siguro tang tanan mag-order online, no? Nya after we place our orders, mo notify man dyan na siya nga sender is preparing to ship your parcel. But kaning shipping is only referring to parcels or small transportations, whereas ang kaning freight is a bulk transportation. And when we say bulk transportation, this includes truckloads, cars, and other freight na dagko na kayo. Take for example, shipping containers. 'Di ba makakita man pud ta ng mga dagkong truck or makasugataan ng mga forwarder nga perting dagko ag load sa likod. Those containers are inclusions of freight forwarding. So either nagikan na to siya from one place or for transport pa. So generally, freight is the bulk transportation of goods. Now that we already defined freight, let us now discuss what is freight forwarding. Freight forwarding is the organization and shipment of goods from one place to the other using a single or multiple carriers. This is a service used by companies that deal in international or multinational import and export. The shipment occurs via air, land, or sea. So here we have the types of freight forwarding. First, we have ocean freight. So obviously, these are the transportation of large loads of goods by sea. So this is through a shipping vessel or sa mga barko nga dagko. And next, we have air freight. So air freight, this is the transportation of large loads of goods by air. So this is through airplanes or aircrafts. Lastly, we have truck freight. This is the transportation of large loads of goods by land. So this is through large trucks. Now again, before nato ila-ila ang kung kinsay responsible or tig-manage aning freight forwarding, let us go through the documents needed for freight forwarding. So what are those documents man di ay? First, we have House Airway Bill. So this is an issued document of receipt of goods and signifies a confirmation that the forwarder is to deliver the shipper's goods to an agreed named place. Second, we have the House Bill of Lading. This is a document which includes the names and addresses of the shipper and receiver, shipment date, quantity, exact weight, value, and freight classification. Third, we have Commercial Invoice. So this is a document that describes the goods being sold and details the price, value, and quantity of the goods. Next, we have the commercial invoice. So when your cargo is bound for international transport, this document certifies that goods are produced, manufactured, and processed in a particular country. Last is the packing list. This itemizes the contents of each package, its weight, measurements, and detailed list of the goods in the package. Now, the person responsible for all these documents and the one who manages the freight forwarding is known as a freight forwarder. So, if tig-travel mo or somehow na mo'y makita dihang tao nga nagunit og clipboard baron or nag-asikaso anang mga containers nga isaka na sa barge, you might think nag-supervise na sila or nagtanaw sa ilang checklist if sakto ba ng pangihap nila sa mga containers nga i-load. Yes, they are freight forwarders, and it may seem like their job is easy kay tig-ihap, tig-arrange, or check-check lang sa list. No. So, mag-unsay day ni ang freight forwarder? Unsay gamit ani nila sa freight forwarding? So, to understand more, let us have a brief breakdown of the life of a freight forwarder. First role, we have shipment tracking. So, katong mga cargo carrying the truckloads and other freight on board, they are being tracked sa mga forwarders. They use a transportation management system or TMS that manages these shipments voyage. Ari nila makita sa system kung asa pod ang rota sa mga cargo from undocking to docking maneuver. Second, customs brokerage. So, kaning customs brokerage, ari masud ang mga documents and forms that are collected and filled for import and export. Ari pod makita ang mga bayranan which are the taxes, duties, and excises. These documents are being handled by a licensed broker, which would mean nga ang kanipod nga mga forwarders naapod sila license nga makamanage ani nga mga documents and forms. So to speak, nga kaning mga lisensyado ra nga mga customs broker, let alone mga freight forwarders nga naay lisensya, ang qualified to manage and submit the documentation necessary to complete the importing and exporting processes. Third is the warehousing. Some forwarders na sila ilang mga warehouse available to harbor shippers commodities. But for the most part, the service your forwarder will offer is to arrange storage at a warehouse owned and sila na mulod ana sa container for transportation. Fourth, negotiating. Ari na masud ang atong abangan permi nga free shipping. Kung kita pa ani lipay na kay makalibre ta sa shipping, but for freight forwarders, bargaining with carriers for shipping rates is no easy task. This entails appealing to carriers' interests by balancing the pros and cons of your cargo type. So, kay bulk transportation maning freight, let's take for example a bulk cargo, which contains gravel baron or petroleum. Usually, the hazards of this cargo is the ship's stability and damage to ship structures due to poor loading procedures. Mao nang when negotiating, kailangan balance ang pros and cons sa imong cargo type, time flexibility or ang days of shipping niya, space and tonnage requirements which is ang gibug-aton sa imong cargo and many more. Next is cargo space scheduling. Ari ma-determine if ang cargo is profitable ba for consolidate shipping. When we say consolidate shipping, this is a shipping method where individual LCL shipments or less than container loads from various shippers are combined into one full container shipment. So for example, ang imong cargo is less than 100 kilograms, that is considered as an LCL. Masud po diri sa cargo space scheduling ang time for sailings and the weighing for possible intermodal shipping options. Intermodal shipping meaning the moving of freight by two or more modes of transportation. Sixth, consolidating freight. So we have already defined what is LCL shipment man no. This is where it is involved and in these instances, the shipping cost is spread amongst all participating customers based on the cargo space requirements. So unlike sa full container loads, kato siya kay you will be paying for the full container man. Whereas ang kaning LCL shipping is magdepende kung unsa ra kadaka ang space nga ma-contain sa imuhang cargo. Hence, you are not paying for the full container. So this means na maka-reduce ka sa shipping cost. Lastly, we have the supplying cargo insurance. So forwarders can provide freight insurance. This is intended to compensate the lost payee for the damaged or stolen goods in transit. However, cargo insurance does not cover any tangential loss. So, for instance, natagak ang container sa truck nga naigo ang entrance sa isa ka shop baron. Cargo insurance will only pay or will only cover the financial loss sa mga damaged contents sa container and not sa structural damage. Now, maybe you will start to ask, what is the difference between freight forwarding and logistics DI? Well, the answer for that question will be tackled by our next reporter. That is all for my report. Hope you guys enjoyed and learned something, and thank you all for listening.